All right, guys. So here we are with some reactions to the Ma'Khia Bryant tragedy that happened, okay, in Columbus. We have Ibram X Kendi, okay, and if you guys don't know what he is a author and professor that has basically made a killing teaching white people how to not be racist, right? This guy has written most of the books on anti-racism and how to not be racist, okay? And this is the guy that, you know, they're trying to promote in academia and in our schools in regards to his teachings and his philosophy regarding racism, okay? So in situations like this, they're going to go to him for his opinion on this stuff, and they're going to take his word as theology, right? That's basically the point that we're at right now when it comes to this racial conversation, right? Whatever this guy says is what goes, right? But the whole point of this video, guys, is for me to demonstrate to you that this guy right here disguises himself as an anti-racist, anti-capitalist person, okay? He says that racism and capitalism are intertwined, right? They're like twins. And you cannot be anti-racist without being anti-capitalist, which, in my opinion, is funny. Because this guy right here is a capitalist, straight up disguising himself as an anti-capitalist. He profits from the idea that America is racist. So he is economically incentivized to push the racism narrative because that's going to help him sell books. The more racist there are in this country, right, the more money he makes. Okay, that's the economic incentive here. You got to understand that stuff. And that's just how it goes. He's just one of these other guys, just like the founder of BLM, that are disguising themselves as people that are anti-capitalist, but are the biggest capitalists of them all because they're making money off of it. And if they stop preaching what they preach, right, if they will actually be objective, they could not make money. Okay, so everything they do and everything they say has to be looked at out of the lens of race, because that's what they're economically incentivized to do. And this interview right here of his reaction to that shooting is going to tell you everything that you need to know. He does not care about the details. He doesn't care about the facts. He doesn't care about the evidence. The only thing he cares about is pushing the racial narrative no matter what. So I'm going to play this video and I'm going to pause in between to comment on things he's saying.
I wonder how you're seeing this video and what you say as people are considering the totality of what they're seeing on video and whether they should make distinctions between different incidents.
Okay, so she asked the question. I wonder what your thoughts are as people are seeing the totality of this video, of this incident, and people making distinctions. Okay, she's loading up the questions of like, listen, every situation is different. Okay, so we have to make distinctions between certain situations. Is this situation the same as all those other situations, like George Floyd, for example? And she knows in her mind, this ain't it, bruh. This ain't it, right? This is justified. She knows that, right? And this is the perfect question to ask him. Now, pay attention to his response. He's not going to talk about the nuance and distinction.
So when I look at that video, I asked myself, if that would have been a 16-year-old white girl in a wealthy suburban neighborhood, would the police officer have sought to disarm this girl?
No. I'm going to tell you what would have happened. If that was in a suburban white neighborhood, right, where you had somebody about to stab somebody else, that police officer would have shot that person. That's what would have happened. It would have been the same exact result. But guys, do you understand my point? The first thing he defaults to is, well, if this was a white person in a wealthy neighborhood, would this have happened? Would he had tried to disarm her? He doesn't care about the details, guys. He doesn't care about the fact that white people get killed by the police too, right? He completely ignores that. They want to paint this reality, guys, that white people never get shot by the cops, right? Even though we have, almost 450 white people that were killed by police just last year, right? Almost twice as many black people. But see, that don't sell books. You can't sell books off that. He doesn't care. He doesn't give one flying flip about the fact that this whole incident happened in 10 seconds. He doesn't care about the fact that police are trained to neutralize a threat in a situation where somebody's about to take somebody else's life, right? They're trained to do that in order to save lives, which is exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. But see, if you frame this as, well, a white police officer saved a black girl's life in this situation, that don't sell books. You can't sell anti-racism books telling people that a white man saved a black person. That don't sell books. His first default is to say, well, if this is a white person, it would have happened differently, even though it would not have happened differently. And see, the thing is that in a wealthy neighborhood, an affluent neighborhood, whether you're black or white, to be quite honest with you, this wouldn't be happening in the first place. It wouldn't be happening in the first place. This does not happen in black neighborhoods that are well off. And it doesn't happen in white neighborhoods that are well off. Okay? This happens in the ghetto, right? This happens in the hood. This is where this happens. White hoods and black hoods. Okay? People forget white people live in the hood too. There are white ghettos. There are trailer parks. Okay? There are more poor white people in this country than any other race. People tend to forget about that, right? This is why you have studies that show that if you make less than, I think it's what, $20,000 and you're a male, you're much more likely to interact with the police, whether you're black or white, period. Income level determines how likely you are to interact with the police and police use of force, okay? There's no racial component here. If it was to happen in a wealthy neighborhood, white or black, I believe that the same outcome would have happened. The same thing would have happened. No doubt in my mind. If you get called out there because somebody has a knife and there's an altercation, there's something going on, and the police get out there and you got people getting roly-poly-oly on the ground and getting their heads punted, right? There was all types of crazy stuff going on. And then next thing you know, some girl is attacking another girl and about to stab her with a knife. Of course, you're going to use maximum use of force. He did the right thing. He did exactly what he was trained to do. But this guy right here, he can't say that. He can't say that because if he says that, what that does is that it makes it so it's like, okay, now all those 250 plus black people that are killed per year by the police, now we have to make distinctions. Okay, because it was already low enough as it is, right? It ain't really, this whole police issue really is exaggerated, to be quite honest with you guys. It's not really an issue, right? This is not a top issue in society. But they made out these 250 black people that get killed by the cops to be the worst problem ever, okay? And see, here's the thing. If he actually admitted that there's nuance and that this was justified, like he knows in his head, now all of a sudden that 250 black people that people are protesting about, that number becomes a lot smaller. Remember, guys, there's only about 25 unarmed black people killed by cops per year. Okay? And everybody knows that a majority of these shootings are justified. See, if you have to go into nuance and details, that defeats his whole systemic racism argument, right? It makes his anti-racist books not as easy to sell anymore. It's easy to sell anti-racist books when everything is racism, right? If everything is looked at out of the context of race, it's easy to sell a book about it. This is capitalism, okay? And if some of you guys haven't noticed thus far, capitalism has not been that friendly to conservatives lately. But what we're seeing right now, in terms of guys like this, right, going out here pushing this narrative, is that there is currency in this, right? There are about three major currencies right now, guys. You got the dollar bill, right? You got Bitcoin, and you got wokeness, right? And wokeness encompass police brutality, the LGBTQ community, feminism, all that stuff. Those are the three currencies. These people are getting rich off of the destruction of the black community. They're getting rich off of demonizing white police officers. So this man can't come up here and tell you the truth. And the problem is people like CNN, they don't push back on this BS. They should have somebody up there, or at the very least, this host should push back on him. Let's talk about the details of the incident. Do you think that that black girl should have been allowed to stab that other black girl? What do you expect out of these cops exactly? But that's never asked. They don't ask that. They never push back on these guys.
Would the police officer sought to talk her down? Would the police officer would have used lethal force? And it's hard for me to believe that that would have happened. It's hard to me to believe that that officer would not have responded differently for a different girl in a different community.
I look at that video and I ask, if that were my child, you know, or if my child were the child in pink who was so close to Ma'Khia when she was shot, you know, what would have happened? I think a lot of people are asking that. Look, in this particular case, LeBron James spoke out. He tweeted a picture of an officer, the officer who allegedly shot Ma'Khia, and he said, "You're next." He has since deleted that tweet. What is your reaction to that? Does that add to the tension? Is that appropriate?
I think it's important for us to recognize that people are very, very angry and upset and outraged. And people, including LeBron James, you know, including others, they witnessed, you know, I don't want to speak for LeBron, but I know many people feel as if they did not witness police work. They witnessed someone being killed and even potentially murdered. And of course, like with any other case, people are going to be outraged that someone did not come and de-escalate the situation, disarm that girl, so everyone could have gone home safe.
This dude does not understand anything about police work. He doesn't understand anything about police work. He doesn't care about the details. He doesn't care about the fact that the dude literally told her to drop it. He literally got out of the car like, what's going on? Like, what are we getting into? He had 10 seconds to make a snap decision. You know what's funny? These same type of people want to abolish police and they want to defund police, but at the same time, they want police to be superhuman. They want police to have psychic capabilities to know what's about to happen in 10 seconds to be able to disarm somebody with a knife, right? A raging bull, basically, right? They want police to be able to do all this stuff, but at the same time, do it on a $30,000, $40,000 a year salary, right? And cut funds for training, cut funds for all this stuff. These guys got to go out there and be super cops. They got to be Navy SEALs. And he knows that the answer to that question is no, it's not justified to get overly emotional about this stuff. He knows that. But he can't say that because that doesn't sell anti-racism books. Outrage and emotion sells anti-racism books. And the reason why these guys can get away with it, and I'm going to keep it a whole buck with you, is because people like her, I don't know her name, but people like her, this CNN analyst, will not push back because they're scared of being called racist. When she knows that officer will justify, all of them know it was justified. But they're entertaining the nonsense because they don't want to be called racist. Racism has literally become as offensive to these people. Being called racist is being called an N-word to black people. It really has. It really has. These people get so bent out of shape if somebody calls them racist that they will entertain nonsense. But yeah, like I said, this guy right here, yeah, he wants people emotional. Yes, he wants people like LeBron James tweeting this stuff because emotions sells books. He's nothing but a woke capitalist. That's what he is. He's a woke capitalist. You got these idiots like LeBron James who deleted his tweet because he got called out for trying to dox police officers, which is exactly what he was trying to do. He's just making it worse for himself because he continues to talk. He comes out and says, anger does any of us any good. I think he means anger does not do any of us good. I mean, for a dude that got, almost $1 billion, I mean, you should at least have somebody edit your tweets before you send them out, or at least read them, right? I think he's saying anger does not do any of us any good, and that includes myself. Gathering all the facts and educating does, though. My anger is still here from what happened that little girl. My sympathy for her family and made justice prevail. Okay. Yeah, LeBron, you need to read a book, right? You need to read a book, you know, go to college, right? Get an education. Okay. This dude looked at the video and I guarantee you he knows it was justified. He knows it. That's why he deleted the tweet, right? And that's why he made this tweet right here. Anger does not do us any good. He knew he overreacted to it. He knew he overreacted. He saw the video, saw it as an opportunity to get people upset and anger. And when he tweeted it, he realized, oh, she actually had a knife. This is actually a stupid tweet. Then he deleted it. Then he tries to walk it back, right? And then when he realized that, oh, I'm kind of walking this back. Look at the retweets, guys, and the likes on this tweet, right? This is a walk back tweet right here. This is, oh, I'm wrong tweet. Now look at this tweet above him. Now we're going to read this. I'm so damn tired of black people being killed by police. He just said anger does not do us any good. Now he's trying to anger people up again, right? This when he realized the walk back wasn't a great idea because the woke revolutionaries are watching, right? And they smell weakness. When they smell weakness, it's like a shark with blood in the water, okay? Then he says, I took that tweet down because it's being used to create more hate. LeBron, you're an expert at creating hate, right? This isn't about one officer. It's about the entire system. And they always use our words to create more racism. I am so desperate for more accountability. See, look at the retweets and the likes for this. This is him playing back to his crowd because that tweet before, he knew what he said was wrong. He knew it was justified. And he had to go back and try to play back to the woke crowd again. Now he's talking about accountability. Why are you not holding black people accountable? Right? Why is it that we don't hold ourselves accountable? You don't hold black people accountable for killing black folks, but you want to hold cops accountable. Again, only about 250 some black people a year. But we're talking about thousands of black people that are killed per year by other black people. But he doesn't care about accountability when it comes to that because that doesn't fit the narrative, right? Self-reflection never is profitable for these people. Okay, blaming somebody else, putting the problem on somebody else, blaming white people is profitable. That's profitable. And that is the motivation behind people like LeBron James and Ibram X Kendi. These guys are literally profiting off of this anger and off of these emotions, and they can't tell the truth. They can't look at a situation objectively and say, you know what, this is right and this is wrong. Because if they do that, they can't sell books, right? They can't sell t-shirts. They can't sell Nike gear and I Can't Breathe paraphernalia or Colin Kaepernick jerseys. They can't sell that. You can't sell objectivity. And again, it's just hilarious because these white liberals don't ever push back on this stuff because they're afraid of being called racist. Go look at TYT's breakdown of this video. It's so funny because Anna Kasparian knows that it's justified, but she can't say it. And go look at the comment section. All those people are like, no, this is justified. This is 100% justified. Everybody knows it's justified. But these talking heads can't say it because it goes against everything they've been talking about in regards to police. They actually have to use logic and nuance to understand each interaction that is not racist. It's hard to do that. It's easier to paint the whole system as racist. And that's why they're so frustrated about this situation. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.